Hedgehog here, and I am going to be showing you how to make these spring chickies. So I've cut out my yellow felt already. I've got my two chickie bodies, the gusset, the two wings, and the beak already cut out and ready to go. And I've got my needle already threaded. Everything is laid out. All right. So first of all, I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and do the eye on both body parts. All right. So I'm going to do a French knot for the eye. So I've got all 6 strands of black on the needle. So you're going to pull through. Then, let me see if I've got something here. I'll use my cube of sticky notes for a prop. You are going to want to take your needle, put it next to your thread here, and wrap it around twice. Okay, then you're going to want to kind of pull it up the needle a little bit, and then you're going to want to keep that tight, but reinsert the needle. I'm actually going to take it off. You're going to reinsert the needle right next to where it's come out here. Sorry, getting tangled up and stuff over here. All right, so let's try that. So you wrap it around twice, and then you're going to want to reinsert right next to where you have it. So you want to keep that taut, and then sometimes since you're using all 6 strands, you kind of have to yank it a little bit to get it to go through. But that gives you a good size eye. Okay, and then you're going to just tie it off in the back and trim. That on the other side of the body. Now you should have eyes on both sides. So I just want to also remind you when you go to do your second side to make sure you put them together so that you put the eye on the right side. So they should be opposites so that you don't wind up with the eye on the wrong part. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take your gusset and you're going to line that up with the markings on your pattern. Okay, so you can see I've got it more or less lined up. So, all right, we're going to, I usually bury my tail first, so I just come in right through the middle of one piece of the felt just to kind of bury that tail there, which I will trim right now, so I don't forget actually. All right, and then I'm going to put my little gusset flap down. So we're going to do our blanket stitch. So we're going to go through both pieces, wrap around, and then we're going to pull through, go next to it, wrap it around, pull through. See the stitches there. You can see how that looks there. Try to do it as close to the camera as I can get. All right, so I'm through both pieces. Wrap around. Oops, I got myself a little knot on my side here. Oopsie. There we go. Okay. So you're going to keep doing that until you've got the gusset connected on one side. I will be back in a few minutes to show you what that looks like. down all the way to the edge there. All right, so now the straight pin would probably make this easier. You're going to want to take your second side, match up your tail with the straight pin there so that it's not going to shift. And then if you've got a second one, you could do it at the head too. Ooh, apparently I've got a bad one. Okay, then you're going to take your gusset. It should be nice and matched up now that you've pinned it. You can see I've got it all matched up. And then you're going to go ahead. I did not tie off, by the way. You're going to go ahead and continue your blanket stitch. So I'm going to go in right over here where the new connection is starting. Okay. Make sure you can see. And same old deal, wrap around, pull through. Okay. So we are going to blanket stitch all the way around again, making sure the gusset is completely attached to both sides. I'll be back momentarily with that complete. Attach on both sides of the chick. So at this point, you're going to get your beak to stick in there. So I'm going to just move my pin here. And we're going to take the biggest side is the side that you're going to tuck in here. All right, there we go. So I like how that looks. So I'm going to actually do a running stitch at this point. To secure that in there. So you can see where I'm starting with the needle, and I'm just going to pull that tight. And then I'm going to go ahead and just do a running stitch through both, well, all three pieces actually. I can see this is starting to come through a little bit higher than I want it to, so I'll just tuck that back in there. Okay. And nice and secure. All right, so when you get to where you've done your last stitch for the beak and you're back to the head coming together, you're going to revert back to, you're going to do a small stitch. You can see I'm right next to the first hole here, and I'm just going to do a small regular running stitch there. Now we're going to revert back to the blanket stitch. So we're going to have your thread kind of go over your hand a little bit, come in, and go ahead and go back to blanket stitching. Okay. And we're going to blanket stitch to about right here before we start stuffing. Pull that pin out. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, but I only have 3 strands of floss on here. more and I'm going to stop, and then we're going to attach the wings. Undo that pin. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so you're going to take your wings and then go ahead and place them on there. I'm just going to leave that threaded and go inside and then do just a couple small stitches to attach that wing. Let's see, the small stitch there. So I'll probably do about 3 total, maybe 4. I'll check the wing movement to see. Now, if this is a pain to do like this for you, you could attach the wing before sewing this all together. So you could do the eye, then the wings on each side, then start with the gusset. Alright, let's see. So I'm going to do one more right over here. Oops, got it wrapped around his beak. Okay. Right, so we got that one there. Now I'm going to flip the side over, put the other wing on. That looks about the right place, I think. Just angle that down a little bit. Obviously, it don't have to be a perfect mirror match or anything. Okay. So you want really small stitches so they're not like blatantly obvious. Sounds like somebody woke up from their nap. Hopefully he'll be patient. Okay, so we got both wings on, gusset, everything's done, beak. And now we're going to go ahead and start stuffing this little chickie. Alright, I'm going to start with like little tiny balls of the wool stuffing. Stuff that in there. Really want to force that in there and like push it down so you can see it's getting quite plump. Okay, so once you've got the front half like as full as you would like, we're going to go ahead and blanket stitch some more. Just a few more stitches, more stuffing, a few more stitches, more stuffing until we've got it completely done. So I'm probably going to do a couple stitches, 2, 3, and then I will stuff some more. Okay, so we'll go ahead. Stuff some more in there. So we're going to need to get the tail stuffed as well. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pin this for a second just to make sure my sides are still matching up and blanket stitch a little bit more. Got some stuffing sticking up, and I want that sticking out of my stitches. Okay. Oops. Wrapped around everything. Okay. So go through both sides, wrap, and pull. Alright, so I'm going to go all the way to the top, and then when I get here, I'm going to stop because I still have all this open where I can finish stuffing. So the pin just helps to make sure that the sides are matching properly. Okay, there's the pin. Alright. We're going to go ahead and make sure that this is kind of your last ditch time here to get as much stuffing in there as you want. And you can use a skewer, a pencil, knitting needle, whatever you need to do to get it where you want it, maneuver it. Just be careful when you're doing that you don't accidentally poke through your stitches or mark up your felt or any of that. Alright, I think I probably stuffed this as much as I possibly can. I tend to like things overstuffed, but not everybody has that aesthetic. I'm trying to tuck in all the little furry bits. As you can see a little bit, like they stick up and then they stick up through your stitches, and that drives me a little crazy. Alright, so we are going to blanket stitch some more. Oops, I'm going to lose my tail over here. Okay. Just trying to shove it in a little bit as I make my stitches. Oops, sorry. I didn't realize it was off camera. Sorry about that. Alright, I'm getting to the point where I'm losing my thread here. I'm going to go ahead and tie that bit off and put more thread on. So if that happens to you, then you could just tuck that into your stuffing there. Alright, so if that happens to you, just come in like that. You can bury your tail there. And then you can kind of go over where you left off a little bit to secure that thread. I'm trying to shove it down a little bit more into the hole. It will secure that. Few more stitches and we are going to be done. You will have a sweet little chickie for your nature table or your Easter display or your spring display. Okay, so now where the gusset comes, and I'm just going to go ahead and blanket stitch right over that too, just to further secure that. Alright, so now I want you to just stick the needle in, pull where you're almost through. You're going to go through the loop twice with your needle to give you a good knot, or wrap it around your tail like I did. Oops. To give you a good knot there, and then you just go down through that gusset a little bit. You can vary that, trim, and you are done. You have a sweet little chickie. You can have the wings out or in, however you want to do it. Sweet little chickie for your table. And then you've got blue felt also to make a blue chickie. I cannot wait to see yours, and I hope you will share them with us on Facebook or on Instagram using hashtag HappyHedgehogPost. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at happyhedgehogpost@gmail.com. Thank you so much.